Habit 1. Immediate hydration. Have you ever wondered why some people stay sharp and energetic well into their 90s, while others struggle with fatigue, memory issues, or kidney problems by their 70s? Let me share something that changed everything for me, and it takes less than a minute each morning. For years, I started my day with coffee, sometimes tea, never water. I didn't think it mattered until I learned what happens inside our bodies overnight. You see, while we sleep, we lose water through breathing and sweat. By the time we wake up, our blood becomes thicker, our kidneys are stressed, and our hearts are working harder than they need to. According to researchers at Harvard Medical School, this morning dehydration effect can accelerate aging by up to 31%. Dr. Jessica Rothman, who specializes in kidney health, even coined a term for it: morning blood sludging. That thickened blood pushes harder through your arteries, putting extra strain on your heart and damaging the tiny blood vessels in your brain and kidneys. I didn't take it seriously until I heard about Jim, a 74-year-old retired mailman from Ohio. A few years ago, he began having frequent dizzy spells and was told his kidneys were weakening. His daughter, a nurse, suggested something incredibly simple: drink 16 ounces of room temperature water the moment he woke up before coffee, before the news, even before getting out of bed. Within 2 months, Jim's kidney function improved by over 25%, and his blood pressure readings became more stable. When I first heard that story, I thought, it can't be that simple. But then I tried it. I filled a glass of water and left it on my nightstand. The next morning, even before checking my phone, I reached for the glass. I felt clearer, more grounded. And as the weeks passed, my energy in the morning was no longer a coin toss. It became consistent. This habit is backed by science, yet almost no one over 60 talks about it. Maybe it's because it's too simple, or maybe we've all been told coffee is the morning essential. But I'll tell you this: if your organs could speak, they'd be begging for water when you wake up. So here's what I want you to do. Friend, tonight, place a glass of room temperature water on your nightstand. When you wake up tomorrow, drink the entire glass before your feet even touch the floor. Don't delay. Don't say, I'll start next week. Your body has just gone 7 or 8 hours without hydration. It's quietly suffering. And this one act can support everything from your kidney function to your heart health and even your memory. It's not a gimmick. It's not trendy. It's biology. Will you give your body this simple act of kindness tomorrow morning? I'll be doing it with you. Habit 2, natural morning light. Have you ever asked yourself why your sleep feels shallow? Your energy crashes mid-morning, or your mood just seems off all day long? I used to feel like that too, and I chalked it up to aging. Well, I'm not 30 anymore, I'd say. But what if I told you there's something you could do in the first 30 minutes of your day, something totally free that resets your entire body and brain? It's this: get natural light into your eyes as soon as possible after waking. No, not the light from your phone screen, not from a lamp. I'm talking about real sunlight, even if it's filtered through clouds or coming through a window. Here's why this matters. Our bodies operate on something called the circadian rhythm, our internal biological clock that regulates everything from sleep and metabolism to mood, memory, and even immune function. When you get natural sunlight exposure within 30 minutes of waking, you're giving your brain the signal that says, it's morning. Time to wake up, time to heal, time to balance. A study from the National Institute on Aging found that older adults who received natural sunlight early in the day produced up to 73% more melatonin at night. That's the hormone that helps you fall and stay asleep. The science is clear: morning light equals better sleep, sharper thinking, and more stable energy throughout the day. Let me share a story. Tom, a 76-year-old Vietnam veteran from South Carolina, struggled with insomnia for over a decade. He tried everything: pills, meditation apps, teas, you name it. But he kept waking up at 2 or 3 a.m., mind racing. His doctor finally suggested something unexpected, Tom. Spend just 10 minutes outside every morning, as soon as you wake up, rain or shine. Tom thought it sounded silly, but within 2 weeks, something shifted. He was falling asleep faster, waking up less. His wife even noticed that his afternoon grumpiness had disappeared. It was like I'd hit a reset button, Tom said. Just me, a cup of coffee, and the sunrise. That's the power of circadian syncing. You're aligning your body's clock with the natural day. Now, let me be practical. Not all of us live in sunny states. Some mornings are freezing or rainy. That's okay. Here's what you can do. Step outside for 5 to 10 minutes within 30 minutes of waking. Sit on your porch, balcony, or near a window where sunlight comes in. Even cloudy daylight is 50, 100 times stronger than indoor lighting. If you're bedbound or have mobility challenges, sitting by an open window works too. In darker months, consider a medical-grade light therapy lamp, but use it early in the morning. It's not about perfection, it's about pattern. Your brain craves that signal to kickstart the healing and balancing systems of your body. So tomorrow morning, instead of reaching for your phone or the TV remote, reach for the sun. Let your eyes soak in that morning light. Your hormones will thank you. Your mood will thank you. And if you do this consistently, your future 90-year-old self might thank you too. Habit 3, gentle morning movement. Do you ever feel stiff, achy, or like your body just doesn't want to wake up in the morning? I've been there. For years, I'd roll out of bed and immediately feel like my joints had rusted overnight. Knees cracking, hips tight, back stiff. I thought it was normal aging, but it turns out it didn't have to be. One thing changed that for me: a few minutes of gentle movement right after waking up. Now, before you think I'm talking about exercise videos or sweating it out, I'm not. This isn't about running a mile or doing push-ups. It's about simple, soothing motions that help your joints remember how to move, especially after being still all night. Doctors at the Mayo Clinic found that seniors who practiced light morning movement before breakfast had up to 65% less joint inflammation and were significantly more mobile than those who stayed sedentary until after eating. Why? Because moving first thing activates a process called autophagy, your body's way of cleaning out damaged cells and reducing inflammation. Let me share a story. Shirley, a 68-year-old retired librarian from Wisconsin, was scheduled for knee replacement surgery. She had trouble going upstairs, couldn't kneel to garden, and had to hold on to furniture to walk across her living room. As a last resort, her physical therapist suggested a routine 7 minutes of slow, gentle stretching and movement each morning before breakfast. Shirley started with simple ankle rolls in bed, slow shoulder circles while standing, and gentle side bends. After just 2 months, her pain had reduced so much that her surgery was canceled. I didn't get younger, she laughed, but I finally started moving like myself again. I can tell you from my own experience it works. I start every morning now with neck rolls, ankle and wrist circles, gentle forward bends, side to side torso twists. It takes 5 to 10 minutes. I play soft music while doing it. Some days I stay in pajamas. The point is not to exercise, it's to wake your body up with kindness. As we age, our joints produce less synovial fluid, the natural lubricant. So when we stay still too long, everything feels dry, stuck, and painful. But when we move gently right after waking, we help that fluid circulate again, reduce stiffness, and even protect our joints from long-term damage. So here's what I'd love for you to try before breakfast. After your morning water, take 5 to 10 minutes for gentle movement. Don't worry about doing it right. If it feels good, you're doing it right. Start small, maybe in bed or in a chair. Breathe deeply as you move. Let your body guide the rhythm. And here's the best part. This small act doesn't just help you today. It helps you move freely at 75, 85, even 95. That's not a fantasy. That's what real seniors around the world are doing because they've made gentle movement a non-negotiable morning habit. Your joints are whispering something to you each morning. Will you listen? Will you give them the few minutes they're asking for? I promise it's worth it. Habit 4, 30-second breathing practice. Do you ever start your day already feeling tense, like your shoulders are tight, your chest feels heavy, or your thoughts are racing before your feet even hit the floor? I used to think stress was something that built up over the day, but now I know how you breathe first thing in the morning can shape your entire day and even influence how long you live. This might surprise you, but some of the longest-lived people in the world begin their mornings not with movement or meals, but with intentional breathing. Yes, just breathing, not the shallow, unconscious breathing most of us do all day, but a short, focused practice that activates the vagus nerve, the control center for your body's rest, repair, and heal mode. Dr. Michael Cohen, a longevity researcher in Sardinia, a blue zone where many people live past 100, found that older adults who practiced deep rhythmic breathing every morning had lower levels of inflammation, better heart rate variability, and more stable cortisol levels throughout the day. That's because this type of breathing tells your body, I'm safe. I don't need to be in fight or flight mode. And when your body feels safe, it can redirect energy toward healing and longevity instead of staying on high alert. Let me tell you about Gloria, a 73-year-old widow from Colorado. After her husband passed, she started waking up with anxiety and shallow breaths. She didn't want to rely on medications, so her grief counselor taught her a simple breathing method called 4-7-8 breathing. It goes like this. Inhale gently through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold your breath for 7 seconds. Exhale through your mouth for 8 seconds with a soft whooshing sound. Repeat the cycle 3 to 4 times. It takes just 30 seconds. That's it. Gloria began practicing it while sitting on her porch each morning, sometimes with her tea, sometimes with tears in her eyes. But she kept doing it. Within weeks, she said, my mornings felt lighter, my thinking clearer. I stopped feeling like I was bracing for something bad every day. The science backs it up. This kind of breathing stimulates your parasympathetic nervous system, reduces blood pressure, and even improves digestion and immune response. All from 1 minute of breath. I'll be honest with you, I was skeptical at first. Breathing really? But I tried it, and now it's the first thing I do after drinking my morning water and letting light into my eyes. No matter what's going on in my life, those 30 seconds center me. They remind me that I'm here, I'm alive, and I'm in control of how I respond to my day. So, here's what I invite you to try tomorrow. Sit up in bed or by a window after waking. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable. Do the 4-7-8 breathing pattern for just 3 rounds. Breathe slowly, gently. Let your body soften. No phone, no to-do list, just breath. Your body doesn't need perfection. It needs peace. And these 30 seconds may become the most powerful habit in your morning routine, not just for your stress, but for your long-term health and clarity. So will you give yourself this moment tomorrow? You've earned it. Habit 5, protein and fiber-rich breakfast. Have you ever eaten breakfast and still felt tired, sluggish, or even hungrier an hour later? For the longest time, I thought toast and coffee were a decent way to start the day. But looking back, that light breakfast wasn't giving my body what it actually needed, especially after age 60. As we get older, our metabolism slows, our blood sugar becomes harder to regulate, and our cells become more sensitive to inflammation. And believe it or not, your first meal of the day has the power to either fuel your healing or speed up your aging. Researchers at the Longevity Nutrition Institute found that a breakfast with at least 25 grams of protein and 8 grams of fiber helped reduce inflammation markers by up to 53% in older adults. It also helped improve insulin sensitivity, meaning your body could handle carbs more easily throughout the day. Why does this matter so much? Because inflammation is at the root of so many health problems we face as we age: arthritis, heart disease, memory loss, and more. And your breakfast can either be fuel for repair or a hidden source of damage. Let me tell you about Gerald, a 68-year-old former engineer from Michigan. He wasn't overweight, but his doctor told him he was pre-diabetic. His morning routine: a bagel and orange juice. It felt healthy, but his blood sugar was spiking and crashing every morning. Instead of jumping to medication, Gerald worked with a nutritionist and made one change. He switched to a high-protein, high-fiber breakfast: scrambled eggs, sautéed spinach, half an avocado, and a handful of berries. 6 months later, his blood work shocked his doctor. His insulin levels had normalized, and his inflammation markers had dropped. All I did, Gerald said, was change what I ate first. I tried it too. I used to eat toast and jam, sometimes even skip breakfast. But now I make it non-negotiable. My go-to: 2 boiled eggs, a handful of walnuts, chia seed yogurt or oatmeal with berries, water or green tea. It's filling, gentle on the stomach, and I don't get the energy crash at 10 a.m. anymore. So how do you build a longevity breakfast? Here's a simple formula: protein eggs, Greek yogurt, tofu, or a protein shake. Fiber: chia seeds, berries, oats, or leafy greens. Healthy fats: avocado, nuts, or olive oil. Avoid white bread, sugary cereals, fruit juice before 10 a.m. You're already eating breakfast. This habit doesn't take more time, it just takes a little more intention. Ask yourself, is my breakfast feeding inflammation or fighting it? Tomorrow morning, when you walk into your kitchen, pause for a second. Look at your plate. Is it fueling your best years or holding you back? Your body does the most healing in the morning. Give it the tools it needs. It's never too late to rewrite your health story, one breakfast at a time. Habit 6: morning is social connection. Have you ever gone through an entire morning without speaking to a single person? I have. And more than once. At first, it felt peaceful, quiet, slow, undisturbed. But over time, I started noticing something odd. The days I didn't talk to anyone before 10 a.m. always felt a little dull. My mood was flatter, my energy dropped sooner, and I felt more alone than I wanted to admit. That's when I discovered one of the most powerful, underrated habits for healthy aging: starting your day with human connection. You may have heard that loneliness is bad for your health, but did you know it's as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day? That's what researchers at Harvard found after decades of studying aging adults. But here's something even more fascinating. In a recent analysis of their 80-year study, they found that social connection before 10 a.m., even a small one, had the strongest impact on overall longevity. Why? Because morning interaction sends powerful signals to your brain. I belong, I'm supported, I'm part of something. And that sets off a chain reaction: lower blood pressure, steadier heart rate, more balanced stress hormones. Let me tell you about Marilyn, a 75-year-old widow in Oregon. After her husband passed, She found mornings especially hard. The silence felt loud. She started every day in quiet grief. Then one day, a neighbor knocked on her door and asked, "Want to walk with me in the mornings?" It was just 10 minutes, slow-paced, but that tiny bit of contact became everything. I didn't even realize how much I missed talking to someone in the morning. She said, "Now, I look forward to sunrise, and science agrees. Meaningful connection, especially in the early part of the day, activates neurotransmitters like oxytocin and serotonin, which support both mental and physical resilience." Here are a few simple ways to build this into your morning live with someone. Start a short check-in chat at the breakfast table. Ask, "How did you sleep?" and actually listen. Live alone. Try calling or texting a friend with a simple, "Good morning." You'd be amazed what 60 seconds of connection can do. Still working. Make your first message of the day to a coworker a kind one. Like being outside, greet your mail carrier, neighbor, or barista. It doesn't have to be deep. It just has to be real. And if mornings are tough for you emotionally, especially if you live alone, you're not alone. But that's exactly why this habit matters. It shifts your body out of isolation and into connection mode. So tomorrow morning, don't just brush your teeth and sip your coffee. Say hello. Reach out. Remind someone and yourself that you still belong in this world. Because sometimes the thing that adds years to our life is simply knowing we matter to someone else. Habit 7, morning gratitude practice. When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you think about? Is it your to-do list, your aching joints, something you forgot yesterday? For me, for a long time, it was worry. Even before I got out of bed, my mind was already busy with problems, regrets, and what-ifs. But then I heard something that stopped me in my tracks. Your first thoughts each morning create a chemical pattern in your brain for the rest of the day. In other words, how you think when you wake up shapes how you feel, how you heal, and even how you age. Neuroscientists at Yale have found that older adults who practice intentional gratitude every morning show stronger prefrontal cortex activity, the area responsible for emotional regulation and decision-making, and lower cortisol levels, which means less stress, better mood, and even improved heart health. But not just any gratitude, not vague, be thankful advice. This is about directed gratitude, naming specific things you appreciate, especially about your own body. Let me share the story of Patricia, 74, from Arizona. She had high blood pressure that wasn't improving with medication. Her cardiologist was concerned. Then her daughter introduced her to a simple morning gratitude practice. Patricia agreed to try it for 30 days. Every morning, after her breathing routine, she placed her hand over her heart and quietly said, "I'm grateful for my eyes that let me see my grandchildren. I'm grateful for my legs that still carry me where I need to go. I'm grateful for my heart, still beating for me after all these years." She didn't expect much, but after just a few weeks, something shifted. She felt calmer in the mornings. Her blood pressure dropped, and her doctor asked, "Did you change your meds?" "No," Patricia smiled. "I just changed my thoughts. I've tried it too. And I can tell you it's not just emotional, it's physical. The 2-minute practice leaves me feeling centered, grounded, and more connected to my own body. So how do you do it? Here's your simple gratitude ritual. Sit quietly after your morning breathing. Place your hand over your chest. Name 3 parts of your body you're thankful for and why. Say it out loud or silently, but mean it. The key is specificity and self-directed kindness. Don't just say, "I'm thankful for life." Say, "I'm thankful for these lungs that breathe for me, even when I sleep." It may feel awkward at first. That's okay. We're not used to thanking our bodies, we're more used to criticizing them. but your body has carried you through every year, every joy, every grief. It deserves a little appreciation. Don't you think tomorrow morning, before the noise of the world rushes in, pause? Listen, thank yourself, because a body that feels appreciated heals better, and a mind that starts with gratitude grows younger, not older. Now you know the 7 morning habits that changed my life and the lives of so many others over 60. These aren't trends, they're not gimmicks, they're small, proven rituals that add up to something extraordinary, a longer, more vibrant life. You don't have to do all 7 tomorrow. Start with 1, then build. Your future 90-year-old self will thank you. If this video gave you something to think about, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone you care about. Because sometimes the biggest gift we can give is a small new habit.